leave some comments. Share your opinions, your thoughts about some of these movies to encourage other people to watch them as well. Because if you watch them and you really find those secrets of success, it's going to empower you and help you, because you will remember the scene as you go through life, and that's going to help you be proactive and get out of your failure habits and start employing success habits in your life.
This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
I am exposing the corruption in government and in major multinational corporations. We're telling you the things that they don't want you to know that will make your life better.
These shows really provide you with information that will help take you out of the trance so you can live a better life, a happier life, a more fulfilling life. I'm not telling you stuff that I don't know. I'm telling you stuff that I know and live and experience every single day. I can tell you, and people around me just are befuddled when they watch me glide through life, and they wonder, how do you not be affected by external conditions and situations? No one really knows my inner state. And if they did, it's a place that they've never even been to, that you've never even been to. It's a place of joy and love and peace and no judgment, no criticism, just love, unconditional to everyone and everything, and connecting in a way that is beyond comprehension. And it's at a level of benevolence and love and joy and bliss that's beyond comprehension. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place to be. Yet at the same time, you're experiencing everything that life is. You embrace the full expression of life in every aspect. It's just a wonderful place to be. So this show is designed to help you come out of your trance, increase your awareness, increase your consciousness, have some fun, point out some of the things that are going on behind the curtain, share with you stuff that they don't want you to know about, whether it's health or how politics works, or government, or the media, a whole host of various things, not to make you depressed that you're being controlled by the evil, government and the privileged elite class, but to share with you what's happening and then give you the tools and the techniques and the methods so that you can then empower yourself, so that you're in control of your life, that you're powerful, not powerless, to give you hope instead of feeling hopeless. You watch a lot of shows and at the end you feel hopeless, you feel powerless. Here, you always feel better when you leave than when you start. So there's a bunch of segments on various shows that I've kind of reviewed, and I thought, boy, people, if you haven't seen it, you should really see it. And if you've seen it 6 months ago, you really should see it again. When you see something in a new unit of time, it's kind of like, boy, I need to see that again. You just don't review good information once, you review it over and over again. We listen to our favorite song dozens of times. We watch our favorite movie dozens of times. Oh, The Godfather's on. Oh, Goodfellas is on. Oh, this movie's on. That movie's on. I want to see it again. Haven't you seen it a bunch of times? Yeah, and I love it. I love Willy Wonka, with the original one with Gene Wilder. I love that. It's on. I want to watch it. But you've seen it a dozen times, 3 dozen times, 4 dozen times. Yeah, and I love it. So you watch a movie over again because you like it. And you begin to know the next line coming up, the next scene. Oh, I love this scene. Oh, watch what he says here. When it's positive, motivational, inspirational, eye-opening material, awakening material, you should do the same thing. So there's a couple segments that I'm going to replay today. Some of you, this is the first time you've ever seen them. And hopefully this will encourage you to go back on this channel and binge watch the Kevin Trudeau shows, which you should. It'll be the most empowering thing you've ever done for your life. Each of these shows are embedded with frequencies, embedded with energy. Shakti is what it's called in the East. So when you watch the show, I'm actually bombarding you with love energy that's coming directly from the heart chakra and actually from the dantian, which is 2 inches below my navel, and filling you with this energy that is uplifting. And that's why people say, why is it, Kevin? They ask me, when I watch your show, I feel sometimes tingling, or I feel spacey, or something is like changing. And it's true. because this is energy that is different than just the words and the subjects and so forth. This is a magical show, as well as fun and entertaining and so forth. So I did a segment called The Movies with Embedded Success Secrets. Since I started doing the show, I started recommending movies. I said, these are some movies that you might consider watching. Not only are they good movies, me as movie critic, they're entertaining movies. They're movies you probably have never even heard of or never even seen. They're most of the time riveting, engaging, but they contain secrets of success. All you have to do is pay attention. So I did a segment where I went back and said, here are a bunch of the movies that I recommended, and I give you a little bit of tidbits of each one. Write the movies down, watch the movies, empower your life. Take a look at this past segment from the Kevin Trudeau Show about movies that I recommended with secrets of success embedded within them. Take a look at this. I'm going to change from the world's best mentor. We will move the world's best mentor. Now what does it say, fellas? Help me out.
Movie critic.
I am movie critic. As you know, if you've been watching the show, and if you haven't, shame on you. You are missing out on stuff that's helping you manifest your goals, dreams, and desires. Have some fun. Learn information from behind the curtain, insider information. That's what the Kevin Trudeau Show is all about. But I have been giving, as a movie critic, because that's what it says right there, right? Movie critic. Phenomenal movie recommendations. And this week, I am not going to give you a new movie recommendation because some of you, shame on you, have not watched the movie recommendations that I have. But those of you who have put your comments down and said spectacular. Some people have sent me emails. People have figured out how to reach the office, and they've called. And they say, these are movies we've never heard of. They are entertaining. They are enlightening. They are funny. They're just fully engaging. They are spectacular movies, and how come we don't hear about it? Well, because Hollywood's trying to program you. If you haven't watched the past shows, I recommend that you do. And I'll give you a couple other little recommendations here. If you have not subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the show, share the show. Hit the share button and send it to everyone you know. And if you have a comment about the show, leave a comment and read the comments that are on the show. One of the things I've been doing in every single show is giving you some movie recommendations. And each of the movies that I've been recommending contain information that can help you in your life because they're embedded with secrets of success. And they're fun, and they're entertaining, and they're engaging. So I'm not going to give you a new one today, but we can put up on the screen what I've recommended so far. So I've recommended Godzilla -1 - color. It's the new Godzilla movie, -1 - color, just released. There's two versions. There's a color version, which is good. But the minus color, the black and white version, I think is much better. It is just, you will see a movie done today, 2024. It was done by the Japanese. That is what I will classify as a real movie. It's moving, it's entertaining, it's engaging, it has great acting. Special effects, sure, but it's not a special effects movie. It's not like any of the Godzilla movies you've seen. This is a good one. And it's an engaging story. And it's got a surprise ending. It's good. So that's one. Kung Fu Panda. The original Kung Fu Panda has embedded in it the secrets of success. I taught a seminar in the Global Information Network for a whole morning, 3 hours, and I used clips from Kung Fu Panda. And the audience was blown away because they had not seen the secrets in that movie. Although when I asked the people how many have actually watched the movie, about half of the room raised their hand, maybe less than that. And those who did afterwards, I said, did you notice this in the movie when you watched it? Nobody raised their hand. It's embedded with the secrets of the universe, and it's entertaining. It is fun for the whole family. Kung Fu Panda, cartoon. Next, An Affair to Remember. A real movie, 1957. Deborah Kerr, redhead. Cary Grant. I think it's Cary Grant, right? It's Cary Grant in that movie. Sometimes I get some of the names confused, but Cary Grant, it is a wonderful movie. And it shows about focusing on your dream. It is powerful, entertaining. It is also fun for the whole family because there's no nudity, there's no cursing, there's no swearing, there's no adult themes. Everybody in the family could watch this movie. If this movie, which came out in 1957, came out today, it would be rated G. You can't even make that movie today. Spectacular movie. Next is Pillow Talk, 1959. Rock Hudson. Okay, he was a homosexual. Nobody knew that at the time. But what a handsome guy. And I don't mean that in the funny way. I just think he's a handsome guy and a great actor. He's really great in that movie. It is a funny movie, an entertaining movie, and of course it has the beautiful and talented, who's a great singer by the way, Doris Day in the movie. It is also something about dreams and manifesting what you want, as well as being entertaining. There, maybe you could say an adult theme in that movie, but overall, it's a G-rated movie. Spectacular. Next is The Offer. This is a TV series. It's on Paramount Plus. It is, I think, 10 episodes, an hour each. It is the story of the making of the movie The Godfather. If you want to become successful, if you have goals and dreams in life, and you think, how do I make my goals and dreams come true? Watch that movie or that TV series called The Offer, because it's based on, and it's incredibly accurate, the true story of making of the movie, the spectacular movie, The Godfather. You will see how to overcome adversity in real life like you've never seen before. Watch that movie. It's not a movie, it's a TV series. It is riveting. David Kruger and I was walking in my house, David and I share a home, and he had it, the first episode, on the television as I walked by. And there was a character in there in this particular scene, and I said, that reminds me of Joey Colombo, the mob boss in Chicago. He goes, it is Joey Colombo. I said, what are you watching? And he goes, it's this new series called The Offer, and it's the true story about how they made the movie The Godfather. I said, I'm in. Stop. I want to watch it with you. And we would binge watch this. It was riveting, but I can tell you, it teaches you the secrets and keys to success if you open up your eyes and pay attention. It is spectacular. Next, It's a Wonderful Life, 1946, a classic movie. And again, it is embedded with the secrets of success. It is a G-rated movie. It is black and white. It is entertaining. It is engaging, surprise ending. And at the end, if you don't cry, you're not alive. I watch that movie and a tear comes to my eye and a smile on my face every single time I watch it. It's spectacular. Next is Bonanno, a Godfather story. Came out in 1999. It's the true story of mob boss Joseph Bonanno, the longest ruling mafia boss in American history. He came over from Sicily illegally. He immigrated illegally. He became a member of a crime family. His boss was killed. He became the boss. He worked with Charlie Luciano. He worked with Bugsy Siegel, which is Benny Siegel. He hated the name Bugsy. Frank Costello, all the mafia guys, Joey Profaci, etc. Lucchese, all these guys, he was involved. And it is a true story, which is very accurate. He himself, Joseph Bonanno, wrote the story. It is very accurate, and it also teaches you secrets of success and also gives you an understanding of people's motivation. It is, I think, a spectacular series. Very wonderful. Next is 12 Angry Men, 1957. If you haven't seen this, black and white, has a young Jack Klugman in it. If you want to learn, it's also Henry Fonda. And this movie is weird because the whole movie is filmed on one set. The whole movie is filmed in a jury room. The entire movie. Like, cost them a nickel to make. They love that. It is used. It was originally used by a guy named who was the big the negotiation expert who used to teach Herb Cohen. Herb Cohen, one of the greatest negotiators of all time, and taught a great negotiation course, used to teach his seminar in a hotel while smoking a cigar. And I walked up to him and I says, "Hey, Mr. Cohen, this is a non-smoking hotel." And he'd be smoking a cigar, and he said, "Not anymore. I negotiated my ability to smoke a cigar in this room. It's negotiation." And Herb Cohen, when he taught this negotiation seminar, he was brilliant. He would say, "In negotiation, you have to care, but not that much." He was a wonderful Jewish fellow from Chicago. And I remember the stories he would tell. But one of the things that he used to teach people the art of negotiation and how to persuade others to your way of thinking was showing them the movie 12 Angry Men, which is the movie that I'm talking about. 12 Angry Men, 1957, black and white. Watch this and learn the art of negotiation. Pay attention. It is riveting. It is engaging. It is a wonderful evening. Also, G-rated. Next, A Bronx Tale. True story. 1993 it came out. A Bronx Tale is the true story of a mafia situation in the Bronx. Riveting. It's not G-rated, but it doesn't have any over-the-top violence or profanity, but it is. I don't recall if it has any nudity at all. If it does, it's very limited. I don't think it does. But it is an amazing true story, incredibly accurate, of a mafia family in the Bronx of New York. Highly recommended. You will also learn the motivations of people. For example, in one particular scene in this movie, the main character, who's the mafia boss, is talking to this young kid. And he says, "What do you think's more important? To be loved or to be feared?" And he goes on to explain things. It is a wonderful movie to understand people's motivation. Good watch. Next is The Sting. 1973, won an Academy Award for Best Picture. The Sting is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend that you watch this one as well. It features two superstars of the cinema, Robert Redford and Paul Newman. Spectacular. It's complete 100% fiction, but it does, in a fictionalized account, show you the motivations and greed of people. It is a wonderful, wonderful movie. There is, I think, one slight frontal nudity scene. If there is one, it's very quick. There is no overt violence, no blood and guts, no cursing or swearing. It's not fun for the whole family. Watch it before you consider your kids, because I think when it came out, it was probably rated R. Based on the themes of it. But a spectacular movie. Next is Finding Forrester. It came out in 2000. Sean Connery. Sir Sean Connery, by the way, because he won, not won, but he was knighted, I believe, by the king or the queen. So he is a Sir Sean Connery. It is a wonderful movie. I believe this also, even though it may be rated PG-13 or PG-18 or whatever they rate them now, I don't think there's any nudity or swearing or violence, but it is a riveting, engaging drama, not based on a true story, but it also teaches a secret of motivation. All of these recommendations that I'm giving you, there's a reason why I'm referring you to these movies. Not only are they entertaining and they're fun to watch and they're engaging and they're better than any of the crap that's being produced today, they have a lesson, and many of them more than one lesson if you find them. Next is The Sound of Music, 1965. Not only is this G-rated, and it is fun for the whole family, it teaches you about having a goal and dream and being in a state of allowing. When life throws you a curveball, what do? When you think you want something and life doesn't give it to you, what's happening here? And the answer is, when one door closes in life, remember, there is always another door that is opening. You just have to look for it. Stop being blind. This is a wonderful, based on a true story. It is based on a true story, The Sound of Music. By the way, all of these I have been recommending since I started this podcast, YouTube show, whatever you want to call it. I know you haven't watched every single episode. Some of you have. God bless you. You are better for it. But many of you haven't. Shame on you. No, seriously, I know you can't. You probably haven't watched them all. But now I'm getting you caught up on some of the critical things. And if you haven't, if you want to binge watch something, binge watch our shows. Binge watch the Kevin Trudeau Show. Share it with everybody. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. That's how the show is going to grow. And right now, it is growing every single week, and it's going to grow faster. You need to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. You need to share it if you haven't shared it. And you need to leave a comment if you haven't left a comment. There's a subscribe now right there, and share this with everybody. So these are what I'm giving you is what I've recommended so far on the show. The Sound of Music. What else can you say? It's got singing, it's got drama, and it's based on a true story of the Von Trapp family in the 1930s in Austria when the Nazis came in. Talk about learning secrets of success, setting goals, dreaming big, overcoming adversity. It is entertaining, it's engaging, it's a true story, it's motivational, it's inspirational. It's a beautiful story because they win. It's good. Next is a movie in 1979, which is fun, and it is not fun for the whole family because there is nudity in this. Well, now we know which movie everyone's going to be watching, right? Right? Every guy watching. Oh, good. I'm going to write this one down. There's full frontal nudity with some really hot women. Okay, so now everybody's going to watch the movie. It's called 10. It's the number 10, not T-E-N. It's the number 10. It's with Bo Derek, who most of you don't even know because you're too young. Drop Dead Gorgeous, voted one of the beautiful most woman in the world. Bo Derek is in here. And there's full frontal nudity with Bo Derek, who now everybody's going to watch. The most beautiful woman in the world voted at the time, and I got full frontal nudity. Oh, and also back nudity as well, guys. I'm motivating you to watch this movie. I am motivating. And there's Dudley Moore, the little short English fellow, who is hilarious. He was also in the movie Arthur. Why am I recommending this movie? Because it has nudity. That's not why I'm recommending it. Although I know that'll motivate a lot of you to watch it. There's no blood and guts. There's no anything bad. The only thing that makes it an R-rated is the nudity. But the reason I recommend 10 with Dudley Moore and Bo Derek is not only because it is hilarious at certain parts, and there's certain parts that are drama, but there's other parts that are really hilarious. I mean, you might be really laughing and other parts really engaged in the drama. So it's an interesting movie like that, but it was dubbed as a comedy. But the reason is you're going to see a key of success, which is a word called obsession. And we get obsessed negatively or positively. But this movie has an element of someone who's obsessed. And what we think we want, when we get it, we realize that's not really what we wanted after all. That we had, right in the palm of our hands, everything we ever wanted. It is an entertaining movie. It's a funny movie. That's why it's on my recommended list. Next is Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, 2002. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind is a story of a guy named Chuck Barris, who was the producer of several game shows back in the early 70s. The Dating Game, and also he produced The Newlywed Game, and he was the host of a show called The Gong Show. He was an interesting, people said a strange fellow, and he produced a lot of other winning game shows. One of the things that was fascinating on these game shows, when people won the prize, primarily on the dating game, when they won the prize, when two people won the dating game, the prize was always, you've won a trip behind the Iron Curtain to Bucharest, Hungary, or to Romania, or to Belarus, or to some country that was always behind the Iron Curtain. Every single time they won. I mean, once in a while they went to San Francisco or New York, but almost always they were sending people behind the Iron Curtain. And the reason they did this is because Chuck Barris was an assassin. He was part of the MK Ultra program in the CIA, and he was an assassin for the CIA and was using this as a cover in order to get into Eastern Europe so he could kill someone and then get out very quickly. Now, Chuck Barris today says, oh no, I just made everything up. And he says it, and he always laughs like, are you all stupid? Of course it's real. It's his true story. Now it's dramatized, of course, but the reason why I recommend this is for you to understand a little bit of how the world works. It is also a very entertaining movie. Effectively, it's based on a true story of a CIA assassin who was in Hollywood producing game shows. So check that out. Next is Airplane, 1990. The reason why I recommend this, number one, it is completely politically incorrect. So when you watch this movie, you'll be like, I can't believe they're making fun of cripples. I can't believe they're making fun of Jews. I can't believe they're making fun of black people. You know, it's like, what is going on here? I mean, it is unbelievably, completely politically incorrect. The guys wanted to offend everybody. But back then, nobody got offended. And the reason why I recommend this is you might be shocked, you might be appalled, or you might laugh hysterically. But it's a recommendation for you to understand the sensitivities that the powers that be are trying to instill in you today. Back in our day, we weren't sensitive because nobody took things personal. I remember sitting around the table in Lynn, Massachusetts, where I grew up. And there was a friend of ours who was black, another guy who was Jewish, another guy who was Greek Orthodox, another guy who was a Polak. That's what we used to call him, Polish, for those who don't know what Polak means. Polish. And then I was we had an Irishman. We had two Irishmen, O'Neill and O'Connor. And then we had couple Italians, Lavorante, Tranfaglia, and myself. So we were the Italians. Even though I had the French-Canadian name, I always called myself Italian, even though I'm only half Italian because my mother's Italian from Italy. But when we would be sitting around, we would be calling each other names. You dumb Polak. They'd look at me, you guinea wop, you dago. These were derogatory terms. We were friends. We didn't take offense. We said them not to offend somebody else or talk derogatorily to one another, but to show the absurdity of prejudice. Do you understand? We did it as a way of desensitizing ourselves to prejudice, to know who we are. And it didn't matter what somebody said about us or thought about us. We knew who we are. We were not affected by this outside influence of real prejudice that was really out there. There were people that were prejudiced. You know, I look at my friend and I'd say, "You dumb Polak," and he'd laugh at me and he'd say, "Yeah, you guinea wop," and we both smile and we'd hug each other because we were friends. We weren't offending each other. We were showing in our subtle way how absurd discrimination was, how absurd it was to look at somebody just based on their nationality or religion and think them as less or different in a derogatory way. So Airplane might be a very funny movie to you, but it also might be a little appalling because it is a comedy back in 1980. But it should give you also, if you look at it from a learning standpoint, of what's the lessons here I can learn. And it might be hard not to laugh. It is a very funny movie, if you're not offended. Next is Casablanca, 1942, black and white, one of the greatest movies of all time. It's always listed in the top 5 of greatest movies ever made. Not a true story at all, but there are lessons to be learned about setting goals, following your mission, following your purpose. It is wonderful. And it also has a lesson about integrity in this movie. This is where the song comes from. Some of you know the song. Everybody know the song that comes from Casablanca? No? I'm not even going to tell you. You have to watch it, but there's a very famous song from Casablanca. And there's a phrase that was made famous in Casablanca. Anybody here know the phrase? Again, I get the Three Stooges over here. They're all like the three deaf mutes. It's like the Marx Brothers. So the phrase that comes from this movie, you don't know the phrase. It comes from Casablanca.
Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain. No, that's the name of a movie. That was with Gene Kelly, Singing in the Rain. No, but good try. William, I appreciate you jumping in. Although sinking to the bottom, but I appreciate you jumping into the deep end. No, the phrase that comes from Casablanca is, "Here's looking at you, kid." Did you ever hear that? "Here's looking at you, kid"? Of course, Brian's over there. You've never even watched the movie. What do you... Okay, so "Here's looking at you, kid" comes from this. All right. Casablanca, spectacular. Next is The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen, who was a really not well-known classic dramatic actor. He was in a ton of movies and bit parts. I don't think he had a big lead role, but I mean, maybe 100 or more. Like he was like John Wayne, but always in secondary roles. And he then became a funny guy all of a sudden. But he was a straight man funny guy. The Naked Gun is a movie which is also very politically incorrect. And the reason why I recommend it is, again, look for the political incorrectness in this movie. Look for the jokes that you might not even find funny today to understand how more sensitive people are today as opposed to what they used to be. We can also look at how jokes and what we think is funny has changed. There's no cursing in this movie. Today, you go to any stand-up comedy show, and it's F this, F that, F this, F that. Everything is about a woman's period. Everything's about sex, anal sex, this type of... Everything is about... It's quite frankly, it disgusts me. Aren't you guys talented enough to be able to tell a joke without using a curse word or mentioning a female's sexual anatomy or a man's sexual anatomy? No, they don't have any talent. That's all. It's called... We used to call it bathroom humor or locker room humor because it's talentless and it's designed to shock you. You almost laugh out of embarrassment as opposed to anything else. So The Naked Gun, check that movie out. And I got 2 more. Frankenstein, 1931, the original Frankenstein with Boris Karloff, who no one knows who it is. It was originally called Frankenstein's Monster, but then it was just changed to Frankenstein. The monster is not Frankenstein. That was the doctor who created the monster. That's why the original title was Frankenstein's Monster. The monster is the monster. The monster is not Frankenstein, but when we see the monster, we always say, oh, it's Frankenstein. No, that was the doctor who created him. Anyway, the reason why I have this is a horror movie with no blood and guts, no cursing, and no violence. And it is frightening. It's also entertaining. It's also riveting. So I have this movie to show you how entertainment has changed over the years and how the powers that be are moving to influence you in different ways. So check out Frankenstein. And last week, I recommended, and I've already seen on the comments, tons of comments about this one, Miracle on 34th Street, 1947. Miracle on 34th Street is black and white, spectacular. It's about Santa Claus, and there's a conversation in there where the main character is talking to this kid who's being seen by a psychiatrist, and you're going to learn about you become what you think about most of the time. It's also about setting a goal, putting a dream on a dream board, and watching it manifest. It is an entertaining movie, and it is fun for the whole family. Yes, you can have your entire family watch this. It is clean, fun, spectacular entertainment. Welcome back. I do hope that you watch some of these movies, and if you are watching this now and you have watched some of those movies, I encourage you to go to the comment section and tell other people, I watched this movie and I liked it. I recommend you watch it too. Or say something, I found it entertaining, or I watched it with my spouse or my kids, or we had discussions afterwards, or I really found it interesting, or I love this secret of success that was in it, or whatever. Leave some comments. Any of the movies that you watch, if you liked one more than the other, saying, I really like this one of Kevin's recommended movies, these are the ones that I found the best, these are the ones I like the best. Leave some comments. Share your opinions, your thoughts about some of these movies to encourage other people to watch them as well, because if you watch them and you really find those secrets of success, it's going to empower you and help you, because you will remember the scene as you go through life, and that's going to help you be proactive and get out of your failure habits and start employing success habits in your life. Hi, I'm Kevin Trudeau. This is everything they don't want you to know about to improve the quality of your life. Broadcasting every Monday and Wednesday, 2 days a week now. Monday and Wednesday at 1 o'clock Chicago time. Make sure you tune in and subscribe to the channel and share these shows with everyone you know.